Buddy, professional ski patroller, and a handler and trainer with the Canadian Avalanche Rescue Dog Association, CARDA, stood farther down the trail. His goggles rested on his forehead, his ski helmet snug over his graying hair, and his bright red ski patrol jacket brilliant against the white snow. Henry locked eyes with him. Then Ian lowered his goggles and pushed off on his skis. "This way!" Like an arrow released from a bow, Henry streaked after him. Without slowing or stopping, Ian widened his stance. Henry darted between his legs, his floppy red-brown ears streaming behind him and his paws churning up the new snow as they dug down to the groomed trail beneath. His lungs filled with fresh mountain air, and his ears with the gentle whisper from Ian's skis moving through the snow. As they headed down the slope, he felt Ian's fingers brush the back handle of his red and black canine storm vest, but he didn't break stride. They moved as a single, graceful unit, Henry beneath and between Ian's legs, curving in wide arcs down the mountainside. Midway down the trail, Ian cruised to a stop, then skied off to inspect a large fir tree. The evergreen's branches were weighed down by the previous night's snowfall. They drooped to the ground and formed a tent that hid the area surrounding the tree's trunk. More snow ringed the outside of the tent in mounds. "That looks like a tree well," Ian muttered as he withdrew his collapsible avalanche probe from his day pack. To Henry he said, "Down." Henry plopped onto his belly as Ian snapped the probe into a single 3-meter or 10-foot pull. Jabbing the probe into the snow, Ian edged cautiously toward the tree. At first, the probe hit layers of old, packed snow lying just beneath the new layer of white. But when Ian pushed aside some branches and stabbed again, the probe buried itself halfway up to his hand. Ian quickly backed away. The branches swung back into place, shedding snow in clumps. He pulled out his handheld radio. "Dispatch, I'm here on Bear's Den, and I'm noticing the tree wells are starting to get pretty significant," he said when the radio crackled to life. "If someone falls headfirst into one, it could be bad. Henry and I are going to check the rest of the trail, then come in." Ian holstered his radio, returned to the trail, and bent down. "Up!" With one smooth motion, Henry leaped onto Ian's back and settled like a scarf around his shoulders. Ian hooked a finger under the collar of Henry's vest. "Ready?" Woof! From his perch, Henry scented the air as they swooshed down the slope. The smell of humans, exhaust fumes from snowmobiles, whiffs of food. His super-sensitive nostril receptors, 300 million of them, 50 times more than humans have, detected them all. He switched from riding to running, sometimes between Ian's legs, and other times far to his side, away from the sharp edges of his skis, always dropping into a downstay when Ian stopped to deal with minor problems. A frayed section of rope in the rope and bamboo boundary fence. A trail sign turned invisible by a thick, icy crust. A plastic water bottle, its contents frozen solid, dropped or left behind by a careless skier. Another tree well. At the slope's end, Henry hopped up next to Ian on the chairlift. The padded seat was cozy, and Ian's hand on his neck was warm and soothing. The lift ferried them high above the skiers to the Whistler Mountain Alpine area, where they made their way to a large gray building with a bright red patrol sign above the main entrance. Inside, Henry padded after Ian through the main room into the rescue room. 2 kennels sat amid carefully stored emergency gear. Still wearing his canine storm vest, Henry went straight into his crate, turned in a circle, and laid his head on his paws. Familiar sounds washed over him. The murmur of human activity mingled with the hum of machines, and he let out a contented huff. Then the sounds changed. Henry perked up, ears forward, listening. Ian's and others' voices rose with sudden urgency. Boots hammered back and forth across the concrete floor. Then, one set of footsteps thudded in his direction.